Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of this summer online academic English 20C course. It's very hot here in Southern California, and I hope that whether you're here or elsewhere that you are staying cool during this very hot week. Okay, so we have completed 2 weeks of the course so far, and let's look to see what we have in store for week 3. So the big submission this week is paper 1, draft 1. You've done a zero draft, which is a very casual contribution last week, and I've given you some feedback on that. We also are going to look at topic sentences. Last week we looked at how to start an introductory paragraph, and this week we're going to develop that a little bit further and look at topic sentences or how to start paragraphs. The quiz this week is subject-verb agreement, and the reading that we will do is called The Neurological Pleasures of Fast Fashion. So they're the 4 main things to do this week. Let's have a look at paper 1. Paper 1 is due in on Wednesday. So this is the question. Okay, there's 2 parts to the question. Starts with a statement. Okay, this is the statement here. The way individuals eat, shop, or run a business nowadays is often not sustainable in the long term. Okay, that is a statement of fact, I guess. But the actual question that you have to answer is the next part, which is why. Okay, why do our individual choices and behavior contribute to problems of sustainability rather than help to solve them? Okay, so we're not arguing whether our choices and behavior are sustainable. All right, we take it for granted that they're not, but we have to explain why generally, when looked at as a whole, people's behavior makes the problem worse more so than helps to solve it. And we have some readings that we're going to use to support us. You can also use your personal experience. Many of you used personal experience in your zero draft, which was quite appropriate. And you can also use the articles and videos. We've looked at 3 videos so far. We've looked at 1 article. We're going to look at another one this week. That's more than enough to include in your paper. Okay, so that's the evidence that we have. But generally, the key here is that we're not just talking about what is sustainable and what isn't. We know the way we act is not sustainable, so we're conducting some research into why that happens. So, well, when we looked at sustainability, we saw that this week we'll see that we shop way more than we have to. It's definitely not sustainable, using up a lot of resources. We generally eat quite badly and throw away a lot of food. And we also pollute the planet. Okay, so the way we deal with these is generally not sustainable. Polluting the planet could be to do with resources, shopping, food. They're all kind of like interlinked. But we're not going to argue that they are sustainable or not. What we're going to ask is why. And these are some of the thesis statements that you guys came up with in your draft zeros, which I thought were quite good. So why do we act in this way? Because we make choices that are exciting and give us pleasure. Okay, we live in the moment. We live in the present. We do things that for fun, not because they might be a problem in 10 or 20 or 30 years. Another thesis statement was that we don't see the effect of small everyday actions. If we eat a hamburger, we don't immediately see the effect of it. If we throw away food, we don't immediately see the effect of it. But these type of gradual things over time do affect us. But we don't see them every day. They're not evident to us. The influence of others. So we might know that something is maybe not good for us or not good for the planet, but we still continue to do it because we're influenced by other things. Or we only choose things that are easy and convenient. These are some forms of thesis statements which I thought worked okay. You could get a paper out of some of these. Now, we don't want you to choose exactly the same ones, but just to give you some ideas. When we do choose a thesis statement, remember, don't just take it on the surface. Remember to go deep. Go as deep as you can with it. So if you have people are strongly influenced by others, well, who strongly influences them? It might be advertising, it might be companies, it might be friends. Okay, why? Well, we have a consumer culture. Companies, advertising, make us want to buy things constantly. Okay, why is that? Okay, well, it might be because it's pretty good for the economy in the short term. If we keep on buying stuff in the short term, we'll see a boost in the economy, and it might be good in the short term, but not in the good term, in the long term side. Let's take another one. We make choices that are exciting and give us pleasure. Well, okay. Why do we do that? Maybe it's just the way our brain works. We live in the present, not the future. Maybe we're bored. Maybe we, look for some kind of stimulation, short-term stimulation. Maybe we're just impulsive. We like to make rash decisions because it's exciting. These might cause us damage. That's the problem. So what should we do about it? We might need to educate people. Might need to change our culture a little bit, to be less impulsive. And to think more about the future than just the present. So don't just be satisfied with these. The next step in draft one is to really dig deep. Things I'm looking for in draft one. First thing, get the reader's attention. Okay, I want you to make me want to read on. Okay, give me direction by giving me a strong thesis statement. We've looked at some examples of strong thesis statements there. We are going to look at topic sentences this week, so I will be looking out for that. And we've now used about 5 sources. I'd like you to start to incorporate those sources into your message. Okay, so they're the things I'll be looking out for in draft one. If you have them, you're on the right track. Okay, this is the article that we're going to do. It's called The Neurological Pleasures of Fast Fashion. It's from The Atlantic, which does long-form articles. It's from about 2 years ago. Author is Mark Bain, who works in fashion, and this is the picture that goes along with it. Girl shopping with many options. Okay, neurological means brain. Okay, means associated with or to do with the brain or the central nervous system, and why the reasons why we might engage in fast fashion according to our brain structure. Okay, I'm going to put something up online. I'm going to put this up online, and you guys will annotate it. I'll show you how to annotate in a moment. But basically, annotation might be explaining difficult vocabulary. It might be commenting on the author's style. Okay, what style of writing are they using and why? It might be analysis. It might be taking something the author says and commenting on it, going a little further. It might just be a reaction to the text as well. Okay, something that you think interested you or something that you feel like you want to comment on. Okay, any of these are okay. Let's look at an example. This is the first 2 paragraphs of that article. So let's look at how we might annotate it. Okay, so in the first paragraph we have some keywords. Okay, so shopping has become a pastime. It's pleasurable. It's like social media. It's an entertainment. Okay, so maybe you could comment on, like, it's not something we do because we have to. It's a necessity, or it's fun. Okay, we don't do it because we have to. We do it for enjoyment. To which you might say, personally, I don't think shopping is fun. Okay, and you can react to that and you can say, really, is shopping fun? Do I agree with the author here? So that's reacting and commenting on the general theme. it might be that you have some words that are difficult. Proliferation means to increase rapidly. Maybe words like dynamic or hedonic might cause you difficulties. You can help everybody by giving your understanding of these words, or by looking them up. Another way to comment might be to highlight key sentences. Okay, it's on sustainability, so something like second-hand stores receive more clothes than they can manage and landfills are overstuffed. Well, this clearly is an example of waste, which is not sustainable, so that might be something you comment on. Okay, it might be an important sentence that you see. The last sentence here is very clearly the thesis statement, so you might want to identify that for other people. Okay, so that's how you're going to annotate the reading. Let's move out now and go into our week 3 page. So as usual, we have the language development credit, lots of different ways to develop your language. Writing Center appointment. This is a really good time to go to the Writing Center because you're going to be brainstorming, and if you get your ideas right early, you'll be able to write a good paper. Cultural event as well. Remember, you can only do one cultural event, okay? You won't be allowed to do more than one. Vocabulary practice is an interesting one, okay? Some of you have been doing this. Remember, in week 5, by the Friday of week 5, I check it and I give language development points to the top 2, okay? So if you want to be in the top 2, just do some of those vocabulary practice activities. And there's Amber for the summer Skype sessions as well. Okay, let's move on down. So we have a subject-verb agreement presentation and a topic sentence presentation. I need you to look at both of these and answer the questions. This is the one from last week. Please make sure that you have, in fact, watched it before you start the paper, because I'll be looking out for the things that are mentioned in this. Okay, I'd like you to try to write an introductory paragraph. Okay, and you're going to post it on the class discussion page and comment on other people's. I would also like you to annotate, okay, the neurological pleasures of fast fashion. Let's go into this and see what is happening here. This is the article itself, okay, and I have commented on it, okay, on the first 2 paragraphs, but for the rest of it, I've divided it up into different sections. So section 1, there's 3 students here. I'd like you to comment on it, okay? In the same way I annotated the first one, you guys can annotate these. It's quite long, okay, but I've divided it up into about 1 page per group. So I'd like you to read it, break it down, comment on it, explain words, explain why the author is making the choices that they're making. And you'll be given points for this as well. Okay, let's go back. There is a subject-verb agreement quiz, which you will be able to see the scores for as well, and another agreement quiz to practice. This is the subject-verb agreement quiz which you'll take on Friday. Paper 1, Draft 1 has to be uploaded to Canvas for Wednesday, so please make sure that it is done. And then we have reading comprehension for the article, so as well as annotating the article to help others, you're going to read it and answer some questions. There's also some vocabulary associated with the article, which I'd like you to incorporate into Paper 1, Draft 1 if you can. And lastly, we have a vocabulary practice, so you're going to use those words in a sentence. Okay, that's about it for this week, so I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions regarding Paper 1, Draft 1, I will be here and waiting for your for those questions. I will also set up conferences as well. I'll talk to you about this on a later date. Week 1 or Draft 1 is a nice time to start those conferences, so I will be getting in touch with some of you and asking you to sign up for those conferences either late this week or early next week. Okay, best of luck. and I look forward to reading all of your draft ones. Take care.